background of this paper. In the introduction, I am saying that the curriculum refers to an interactive system of instruction and learning with the specific goals, content, strategies, measurement, and resources. And I'm saying that the evolution of curriculum development in schools reflects the evolution of knowledge and civilization itself. What knowledge is of most worth? What knowledge do we need? How shall it be codified, structured, and transformed into curriculum for the accumulation and growth of successive generations so that the future is better than the past? I look further at how higher education institutions are designed or can be designed and equipped as a productive and a democratic learning environment. These are some of the questions that the curriculum is expected to address. And these are some of the questions, as I said, but of course to ensure that we have the fundamental factors of education process, the learner, the curriculum, and the society need to benefit from the curriculum which we have in this country. And we are looking at the curriculum which is more experimental, and the reconstructed curriculum which is designed to solve the country's problems. We have the national national development plans, the NDP1, NDP3 to NDP3, and we are looking at the curriculum that can address this. And of course, much of the global affairs with a resurgence of progressive vision to achieve the country's objectives. Now, just as I conclude, we recognize that now the non-traditional factors in socioeconomic growth, human capital, which is measured by skills of labor force, is much lacking in the curriculum. And when we look at the last slide, there's a picture on the last slide where we look at what we have in our curriculum. We have the science class in China, and then we have the science class in Uganda. And when we look at what happens, the China science class has a lot of things it's doing, hands-on, and in Uganda we still have that curriculum where everything is theoretical. Even when we talk about teaching science, much of it is theory. Much as we have all the insects, we cannot even get them so that children can have them hands-on. I thank you, Chair.
Honorable, thank you. Okay. Honorable, thank you so much. I am not going to comment anything because of time. We'll comment in the end. Please, yes, please, Dr. Please take the stage. And we are going to give 5 minutes. Keep 5 minutes.
Because of time, technology will catch up. The technology will catch up with me. Thank you so much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to present a paper on mentorship and practical skills acquisition of allied health trainees at the Uganda Institute of Allied Health and Management Science. Dr. Florence Bachibinga Sajjabi is my name, lecturer, Uganda Management Institute, and I did this with Mr. Wilson Byakagaba, who is a senior health tutor at the Institute. For purposes of this presentation, I'll call it the Institute. We have a structure of our paper when you read it. For purposes of presentation, I will not go through the review of literature, but you'll see some of it as I present. So with allied health practitioners, their practical skills are critical when it comes to service delivery. And the Institute was started in 1969 as a paramedical school, and it wants to offer exactly these practical skills for these scientists. However, there's been growing concerns about the way they have been delivering their services. And as we see from the theme of the conference, we are looking at service delivery in growing or developing economies. So in the literature, it shows that the concern is not only in Uganda, but elsewhere. And Fred, an author called Fred, has called it hyposkilia. So according to Schwartze and others, we can acquire practical skills in so many ways, or they can be acquired. You can teach, you can do the clinical teaching, like you, please look at those pictures. You can even do supervision. We see a picture there where someone is supervising someone conducting a medical procedure, or we can actually do mentoring. So what is mentoring? Here we are giving a younger or less skilled person or less experienced person help and advice over time. And we are looking at long-term development and career development of the mentee. But Sajabi and Sesanga, 2017, add a component, and they say that being a mentor is like a navigator in the car. For the other methods, you can stand aloof from the people you're actually teaching or supervising or coaching. Like in football, the coach takes you up to the field and leaves you in the field to play. So when we are looking at mentoring, it says here, let us walk the journey together. I've gone through it. I know all the corners, so let us walk together. So why are we emphasizing mentoring? Actually, Schwartze and others categorically put mentoring above all the other means of imparting skills. And we are saying the mentorship has benefits for both the mentors and the mentees. But when we look at the literature, we have a dearth of evidence on the influence of mentoring of acquisition of these practical skills for the allied health trainees. Most of the literature talks about nurses, but for the health trainees, there is little information, and even especially in low and middle income countries. And then Muvezi and Gidman were also saying in Uganda, and then we didn't find any study that had been done at this institute of Mulago. So the purpose of our study was to examine the influence of mentorship on the acquisition of practical skills of allied health trainees at UIHMS Mulago, and specifically wanted to answer 3 objectives, and the literature guided us on what others had also, what others had also done. So we looked at mentor factors, mentee factors, and institutional factors. I'll not go through the methodology, which is there on the board. We'll use the cross-sectional research design. It was descriptive. We had a sample of 132. We picked 4 schools, and we had participants and then informants, also a tutor and a trainer from each of those schools. So what did we find regarding the mentor factors? We found that the age and experience of the mentors strongly influenced the acquisition of skills. The older the mentor, the more the trainees paid attention. And we also had observation where we found that the mentees were more interested in mentors whom they thought had more professional experience.
Professor.
And then the sex of the mentors did not matter. And when it comes to mentee factors, the way they looked at the at their mentors and professional skills and the interaction between them and the mentors, then it had a bearing on the way that the mentorship was effective. Then other things that we found, that there was not adequate coordination and communication of the program. Sometimes some mentors did not get to know information. And then the mentor-mentee ratio had also an influence, because there's so much you can do when you have a mentor. And then there were adequate training facilities. Other literature says in other countries they had the facilities, but we are talking about developing economies where we have limited facilities. So those were also the conclusions, and we recommend that the Institute purposively recruits mentors who are older, more experienced, don't mind so much about their sex because it doesn't matter, and then continuous professional development, and pay attention to the institutional factors. Now, not look at the limitations. There are the references. Thank you so much for your attention.
May I ask online, please? Veronica, are you online? Hello, Veronica? Veronica and group, can you start presentation, please? Veronica, are you ready? Okay. If she's getting ready, let me get somebody from the room, please. Somebody who's ready to present to us, please go ahead. Veronica, please prepare yourself.
For them, I can just start right on. I'm Elizabeth Achoma, and my study area for this presentation is towards improving private student enrollment in public universities in Uganda. So basically, we try to look at how several public universities are lacking students in a number of programs. And we derived some examples, like, for example, Bustema University, you find that in the College of Engineering, they have about 5, 10, and these are private students who are enrolled, besides the students who are being sponsored by the government. So basically, public universities in Uganda have experienced low students' enrollment due to several reasons, like poor infrastructure, inadequate learning equipments, etc., that has negatively affected its performance. So the competition for university students and students' enrollment in public university heated up due to emergence of private universities in 1990s. That is according to the Kajubi report. And then also Navajo 2009 says that due to a number of creation of public universities, we see that all these universities are trying to rival for the limited number of private students that are there. So what is then happening within the private universities? Because they are trying to compete with the public universities in order to get students. Apparently, private universities have set up contact centers across regions, which public universities have not done. They do constant advertisement using mixed methods like paying commissions to lecturers and students who bring fellow students, and therefore this enhances the enrollment of students. When you look at public universities, they don't do that. They use strategies like social media platforms, branding, video webinars, and websites to attract students, which is not happening with public universities. Now the problem is the liberalization of education created all this. And because of that, a number of reasons have been fronted for low enrollment of students in public universities. This includes inadequate marketing strategies, poor infrastructures, higher cutoff points, which is subjective to public universities, limited student-centered programs, and then rampant strikes, which is happening now in public universities. No clear strategy that protects the quality of service delivery by public universities. So then, private universities, like earlier on said, always use social media and all those other platforms that encourages flooding of students within their universities. Hence, there is a very slow development of public universities because they are more reliant on public sponsorship and then government sponsorship, knowing very well that private sponsorship could have done better for them.
Excuse me, Tom. I am reading your topic here, towards improving private student enrollment in public universities in Uganda. But as you present, you're concentrating on private universities. So I have a different topic and you're presenting a different topic. I don't know what is the problem.
Thank you, Doctor. I was trying to bring the situation which is within the...
No, I just want you to read your topic to me,
It
please.
is towards improving private students' enrollment in public universities. That is the topic that
Yes.
I'm looking at.
Can you talk about it, please?
Okay. So within the literature review, we see the limitations faced by public universities in attracting private students' enrollment, which are aligned towards the following: contradicting public university policies, inadequate funding from government and educational program partners, then increased level of immorality, that is in public universities, insecurity and indiscipline exhibited in public universities, that makes parents discouraged of taking their students there, compromised content and assessment methods, lack of knowledge on funding opportunities by the different students, and then all these, along with others, have brought in implications in terms of enrollment. So within the literature, there are suggestions that we got that could help public universities improve on their enrollment modes. One is the use of longitudinal data that would help in alerting parents and students in preparation to join the university, conducting qualitative research in communities to ascertain the perception and levels of interest, testing and refining messages before dissemination to the external environment, then conducting industrial research that motivates students to enroll for different courses, the use of digital online research, and then the use of evidence-based policy options. These were suggestions that were brought up from the literature. However, when we got down to the participants and those that we interviewed, we got the following that are some of the causes for poor enrollment, as well as some of the suggestions. I won't go into the methodology. It's in there because of my time. So the findings after going to the field, these are some of the things that we were told. Of course, it was a qualitative study. We interviewed 17 individuals in the dean's office and the academic registrar's office, focusing at two private universities and then 4 public universities. And therefore, we were able to come up with some of these causes of low student enrollment in public universities. 1, the rigid culture in public university. Administrators are always very rude to students. Therefore, people get discouraged going there. Public universities are very strict on enrollment policy set by government. And then there is no supplementary intake in the public universities. They follow strict deadlines. Public universities are characterized by delays and bureaucracy. Poverty among students is 1. Questionable immorality, fear of failure to complete courses, and therefore dropouts. And then, of course, issues of strategic location is another issue here. So then, they did suggest that research would help a lot in improving enrollment by one, informing new programs development that is aligned to students' interest, then highlighting potential problems, hence getting solutions out of research, improving decision-making on student enrollment, then the supporting information gathering by emerging trends and potential students' interest. Research informs strategy and planning, and therefore helping the university. Research guides recommendation for university policy formulation and then helps in the provision of students' data at lower level, for example, secondary and all that. So basically, do I have any minute again? It's done. So thank you so much. I stop here.
Thank you very much, Achom. Achom, what was your sample size? 17 public universities or private universities?
We had 6 universities, 4 public universities and 2 private universities.
Okay. Okay, we'll talk later on. Please, make sure you see me. Thank you. Thank you very much. Veronica, are you read online? Veronica? Any presenter online, please? Are you ready? Please take the floor.
Okay, thank you so much, Chair.
Remember, you have got 5 to 6 minutes.
I did this work with my colleague, Dr. Rick Manamono. We are both lecturers at Macquarie University Business School. And this is a manuscript that we've come up with. We intend to publish it, and we are therefore here to present it to be able to improve our work. The topic is enhancing innovation in higher institutions of learning.
Hello? Go ahead,
And it
please.
is the COVID-19 pandemic, the role of organizational resilience capacity. Friends, the current environment requires universities to enhance on the first day of this conference. Countries have greater opportunity to be able to offer services efficiently. One of the goals or the activities that we consider enhancing innovation capacity in institutions of higher learning. We also see that when COVID came up, still speaking a bite from the keynote address on the first day of the conference, when COVID came up, there were a lot of innovations in the education sector. We saw how those who first were able to teach online, examine online. A number of teaching applications came up during the pandemic. So, however, to ensure continued learning, the government, through National Council of Higher Education, devised alternative learning and examination methods that require innovative universities capable of generating novel methods. Recently, just last month, National Council of Higher Education held a workshop, we may call it a model and work, in Uganda, and particularly in institutions. Therefore, this now requires universities to be more innovative in order to be able to take on such systems the National Council is trying to advocate for. However, evidence reveals that the innovative potential of universities in Uganda is still valued. evidence in the inability to conduct and publish. This is evidence even with our traditional university, called it the oldest Makerere University. We see a number of their classes still physical, a number of their exams still done physically. Even us here, we can see it is very hard for us to go with the physical method of working in the university. We are still holding our conferences, but majority physically, and we are really comfortable with being physical. So scholars have emphasized the influence of cognitive traits, and one of them being resilience, on reinforcing organizational innovation. We need to see that organizations are resilient all through. Once they are resilient, it will become very easy to enhance organizational innovation. However, as most studies that we've come across have directed resilience literature on market innovation. They've looked at resiliency, but relating it to market innovation, not organizational innovation. And yet now this is where we need to go, for organizations to be innovative. And resilience has majorly been studied as a passive phrase, as an organizational ability to bounce back from a downset. So this current study is focusing on resilience as an active state rather than simply reacting to downset. We need to always prepare. For example, Ebola there's an outbreak of Ebola. How many institutions had already prepared for this? This study is looking at us focusing on resilience as an active state. We should always prepare for the past, for the future, for the current. We should not wait for a shock and then we start planning on how to come out. We see institutions, mostly in the Western world, that have taken on resilience as an active state, were able to immediately continue with their learning and teaching.
Hello.
In Uganda, we've seen and we've had some of them have very much difficulty, and that is why we still indicate or talk about the effect of COVID-19 being so huge on the education sector.
Kindly, can you conclude? Hello. Kindly conclude.
Yes, Chair.
Kindly conclude, please.
Yes, Chair.
Kindly conclude.
Organizational resilience indicates the ease with which an organization moves from a stable to unstable state and includes the ability to face current difficulties, adapt to the changes and then challenges of the past and the future. So innovation is characterized by uncertainty, and therefore organizations need resilience to perform innovative tasks. The extension of the current study on innovation literature is threefold. One, based on Langenhall and Baker in 2016, the current research empirically examines the antecedent role of resilience capacity as an active state of
So, Veronica, we want to thank you so much. And we will
innovation.
share.
Limited research on innovation in service industry and more so in education came across vision in the service industry. What this research is at insights.
Okay, thank you very much. Nwagaba, can you take the stage, please? and is going to talk about the symbiosis of quality assurance and performance of research projects in higher institutions of learning in Uganda. A lesson learned from Unkumba University. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Kindly, you have 5 to 6 minutes.
Yeah. I'll use actually 5. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Innocent Nwagaba, and I'm presenting a paper on the symbiosis of quality assurance and performance of research projects in higher education institutions in Uganda, lessons learned from Unkumba University. The main author is Joram Kakande, and I am the co-author of this paper. Basically, what I can say, ladies and gentlemen, is that the study aimed at investigating quality assurance and performance of higher education institutions in Uganda using a case study of Unkumba University. Why were we interested in this study? It's because we realized that Unkumba University, as a case study, its quality assurance report of 2018 indicated that the research unit, in its efforts to undertake a number of research projects, it was being faced with a number of challenges, such as high operational costs, delayed service delivery, and a number of complaints from the customers or the clients, who were the students mainly, and of course the internal staff. And this could partly be a result of poor quality monitoring and poor quality evaluation of the implementation process of such research projects. And that is according to Quality Assurance Report of 2018. Now, the specific objectives of the study were to examine the performance of research projects of Unkumba University in Uganda and to investigate the relationship between quality assurance and performance of Unkumba University in Uganda. The study, in terms of methodology, used correlational discipline research design to collect and analyze data from a total population of 110 based on a sample size of 80 respondents from Unkumba University. And after collecting the data, quantitative data was obtained by using closed-ended questionnaires, while qualitative data was obtained from the interviews. Now, in terms of findings, the study revealed that there is significant positive relationship between quality assurance in terms of quality monitoring and quality evaluation and performance of research projects at Unkumba University. So the study basically concluded that quality assurance in terms of quality monitoring and quality evaluation highly affects performance of research projects at institutions of higher learning. And the study recommended that there is need for instituting an effective quality monitoring and evaluation system for research projects at Unkumba University and other institutions of higher learning. Also, there is need to ensure that thorough quality planning, quality policy analysis, and quality audit and other quality control mechanisms for research projects at Unkumba University and other institutions of learning can always be adhered to. Thanks very much, Professor. I'm through with my presentation.
Thank you. Can you tell us one finding which was really, really very important from your research?
Okay. The most important finding that we were able to find out during this research was that without having quality assurance mechanism in place in terms of quality monitoring and evaluation, the quality of the research outputs, especially in terms of students' dissertations and especially academic dissertations, they were not to the standard of the quality of research dissertations in other institutions of learning. So we thought that ideally, when supervisors are supervising students, especially those that are doing masters and PhDs, it is important that the quality assurance office should track how the supervision is going on the side of the supervisor, and also how the students are doing the study in terms of collecting data, because some of them get what we call tubans to do those dissertations for them. And at the end of the day, the quality becomes poor.
Thank you very much. Kindly, I'm requesting, if you are a student and you have come to present, please tell us that you are a student and tell us your supervisors. Because when you are a student, you need our help more. Kindly, please. Do I have another presenter here? Yes, please take the floor.
That's all. I can go? Oh, thanks very much.
I have not clapped for you because of time. I should be clapping. Okay, let me first clarify something. Is there somebody who's ready to present today? If there is somebody who's going to present for the first time, I would prefer that I give a chance to that one.
Becca,
First
you
wait.
come and present.
First wait, please. Okay, the fact that there is nobody, please go ahead and present.
Yeah, thank you very much, members of the panel. This paper here is a paper we prepared. Actually, the main author is Becca Liada, but he made me to be the voice. And we are looking at in-service teacher training approaches and teacher relevance in job market in Uganda. And in this presentation of ours, we are saying that at one point or the other, the need for quality service in all sectors, including education sector, is something that you cannot underrate. And a number of authors assent to this, including OECD, that we are familiar with when it comes to issues of education. And in this particular case, we considered the government white paper 1992 that says there is no education that can rise without the quality of its teachers. And for that matter, this study of ours was backed up by a theory of equity, that if you want to realize quality, then the inputs and the employees' outputs must be put into balance. And once it is balanced, then there is possibility